Columbia River, and I'm glad Mike is on because he's got experience working with the Columbia River too. Years ago, when I was on before, when, which governor?
Dixie
Oh, before that.
Booth?
No. Anyway, we were meeting with the governor. There was meetings with the governor and his team about managing the Columbia River. And the governor at that time, who was now I think the Secretary of Treasury or something for Japanese guy.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Long. Gary Long. He was the governor, and he came up with the opinion that the Colville tribe, now this is important, that the Colville tribe has an ownership interest in the Columbia River, not a user interest. And that gives us a little bit higher priority in our voice on what's going to happen particularly in the upper Columbia River. So when we're talking now, and we weren't in, I don't know if you was in when it first started, the Tecominco case, where the river is being polluted by Tecominco mining up in Canada, and it's affecting the river and it's affecting the fish. And the tribe has been working with EPA to fight Canada, because Canada was taking the position that this is a Canadian case, not an American case, but yet that stuff is coming down into our country. I went to meetings with EPA since I've been on, so that the EPA will support our position on the river. One of the issues that is up now is what's this amount of consumption of fish that is safe for us to eat. It's crazy. It's just scary crazy. That much a week, okay? That's what they're saying is safe for us to eat out of the Columbia River. And you have Indians all up and down the river that are eating that much, right? I mean, it's a good part of our diets. And so it's just so important that things are done to address the Columbia River cleanup.
In 1978, when we were looking at Mount Coleman, I was hired to work on some environmental stuff, and we were testing fish.
Good
And
to
the
see.
fish were already poisoned back then, and we were working at some country, we hadn't even done mine yet.
Did you really get it?
It's been a problem. They have a big smelter in Canada, it's the biggest one in the West. And, like when they find gold or silver, whatever, they basically melt it to purify it, but then all the waste material is toxic usually. It's heavy metals, it's just stuff that's really bad for you. And they're planning to control it. If you ever drove by there, they got a great big old pipe coming out of their smelter and they're right into the river, and that was it. And they were doing that for 100 years, just about. And there's just miles and miles and miles of black sand in the Columbia River. And it's heavy metals, they call it heavy metals, but it's just toxic and poisonous to you, it'll kill you. And there's just tons of it in the river up there, from the Canadian border on down for miles. And there's a law called the Superfund law, you might have heard of, like in big cities you hear about, they have to clean up areas, it's the same law that applies to this. And so the tribe sued them, and eventually the state joined in too, Governor Gregoire joined in later on. But that's kind of that's been ongoing, and we want to see if we can clean it up or get something working up there anyway.
Yeah.
What are some of the effects that the water itself has on wildlife? Oh, deer.
That we raised that as an issue. So is the state Fish and Wildlife. All of the tribes along the Columbia are together on those concerns, that it's not just fish, it's just not bottom fish. That's still part of the discussion, still part of our concern. The governor has come out with with a plan. We haven't seen the written plan yet that he reported to us the other day in Olympia. It has to go through the legislature, and with the Republican legislature, it might not go through this year, but the plan is to help clean up the river, and that's gonna cost some money. And that's why it looks pretty tough in this particular legislature, and so it's important we all vote, folks.
Lower
I
amount,
heard they had a super fund one time. Does that still apply?
you know, well, that's like that technical cases, and
Yeah.
some of that Superfund law.
Yeah.
But this is an ongoing, it's not just for that, it's for all of the things that goes along with just that particular piece. Okay? It even involves the dams, because all of the dams slow down the river, and as the fish are coming up, they want to be able to get more water through the dams to give us a healthier fish when it gets up here. So it's a big, complicated
Yeah.
problem.
There's so much water in
Gotta
that
be at
place
the
because
table.
more and more people all the time. So the water is getting more scarce all the time, just because there's more people,
Yeah.
it's gonna be more valuable all the time. So
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be like more valuable than gold pretty soon.
Yeah.
So don't give it
while
any
you're
more
the-
away,
We ain't.
the river siphon project, don't give any more water away,
No.
that's the main thing.
While you're in the water thing, in our debt agreement, there is a thing in there that we have to take the amount of water that other people are taking. We don't have anything on the reservation that takes water out of the dam, just Grand Coulee. And I brought it up at the last district meeting I attended, that we should start a hemp farm and then draw the water out of it for the irrigation.
You mean to make rope, hemp ropes?
Yeah, and clothes. I was thinking about that, that was just an idea. Because we have to siphon water out, because they're siphoning water out. They've been siphoning water out forever.
One of the things that we found out when they built the original Cooley Dam, that they did have pumps on our side of the dam
Yeah,
for the reservation, but nobody knew it. And so there was never any development plans to use those, and they didn't really let us know until I was working for the Bureau when they blew up that end of the dam to put the third powerhouse in, and that's when we found out
yeah.
that there was pumps there. What we need to do though, it is gonna be one of the biggest issues. It'll always be a fight. I don't care how old our youngest kids are, it'll always be a fight as long as we have special water rights and special privileges to that water. It isn't something that we legally, I don't agree, but this, how it is legally, we don't own it. We have the first right to use it. So what we need to do is develop the plans to use it. Because the position of the federal government is, in some cases, is use it or lose it. And then under last Bush's administration, he was sending interior teams out to tribes to talk them into selling their unused water rights. And I think it's totally wrong. And so we're making it a priority that our people meaning hydrology, attorneys, fish and game, we got a pretty good idea of the volume that we have. There's a law called the Winters. There was a case called the Winters case, federal court case, that recognized that the tribes have, this is key, prime and paramount rights to the use of all waters that flow through, that originate on and underlie Indian reservations. First right, which means that if there's an aquifer, an underground lake, that half of it is on the north half, and the other half is on our half. And they've been using it up there for farming, and we need it because we're establishing farms, orchards, industry, whatever it might be. According to the Winters Doctrine, we have the right to get our share, if that means even reducing the use on the north half. That's what the Winters case does for us. And so what we need to do is we need to come up with plans, not just for today, not for 1 year, but plans. And it's gonna be quite a process. And so until we can get all of that done and get ourselves really strong on what we have, what our plans are 50 years from now, 100 years from now, it's gonna be a constant fight. And as long as we have that Winters Doctrine rights, we're gonna have people after us. I mean, look at the Southwest. It's terrible. Look at California. It's terrible. They got a piece of paper says they have water, right? But they don't have the water. They got a piece of paper. Paper water is what they call it down there. We have an opportunity to better, with the recognition that I told you about, that we have an ownership interest in the Columbia River. So we got to ride that horse as hard as we can and work on that. And we just had a briefing with our Olympia lobbyists of the bills that have been going through the state legislature. And there's a number of bills that have to do with water, whether it be for municipal use, or it don't make any difference. And what we've asked the lobbyists is to really keep track of those things, because we need to be involved. It has nothing to do with the reservation, has nothing to do with Indian law. But if they pass a law that says a municipality, Omak, Okanagan, Malott, Tenascan, can do certain things that affects us, then we're in court and we're spending millions of dollars to fight. So it's best for us to know what that law is, to protect language or to keep language out of it that would cause us to do that. So we got to be smart, not just in the science of water, but in the political world of how do you protect that water.
Mel, one of the things that I know is that, for example, when we start talking about water, let's talk over here at CIPV and what the city of Omak is alleging. They have all the rights to a couple of these main pumps over here. Why haven't we used that water's decision to oust them out? Because they say we, the tribe, sold it to them, and therefore they monitor and take what they want of our water from our side to do the city.
I don't know why, I don't know why that was done years ago. They can own the pumps, they don't own the water.
They're saying they own the water and the rights to whether to do with it as they wish. And that came up through being the property insurance guy here. And we were trying to put a building together of our property and so on. And we were talking about water and the need of the water. And that we would have to go to the city of Omak in order to get our water that's on our reservation being pumped.
I don't know why that is. I don't even know if that's a legal their legal interpretation or ours. I don't know. Because a lot of non-Indians have state water permits on the reservation. Boyd Walton had a state water permit on the reservation. And that's what we fought for a few years, just that little tiny creek up by the mission. And we won it. The federal judge said they got to get a tribal permit. Now our big fight, to me, one of our closest big fights is going to be Gebers. For some reason, the past, our programs, and our council probably, I don't want to say nothing bad about our council, the good ones are here, have allowed Gebers to develop all this orchard without a tribal permit. And now they're talking to him. You talk to him when they're planting on the first tree. You don't plan, you don't talk to him when there's millions of dollars invested in it. And, so, we've been trying to raise him hell about it. You're talking to him now, but I don't know what that's gonna do. But what I can tell you is we're aware of it, we're pushing on it, okay? It's a new council.
There's also a big development going on. They're putting a big golf course
Oh,
down
got
there.
it.
And so that should really be looked into because it's a huge development.
All of the Gebbers, all of the Gebbers developments is using probably state permits.
He's the
That was
the
formerly Indian
world's,
land.
the world's
Well, he's the only
largest.
one, he's the only one that can throw a pipe in there. Okanagan River or any place and pump water without permits. Where did he get them?
Planning.
I don't think he got them I don't think he's got tribal permits. I think he's got state permits. And
I don't even think he's got them.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. It might cost us some money, but I'm
You think
pretty
we'll
sure
own
we're
a
gonna
golf
find
course,
out.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think we'll own a golf course?
He just built it
I
all.
know, that's what I'm saying.
What?
Well, we should be able to own his golf course
Oh.
Well,
for the
now-
use of the water.
Yeah, here's another
There's no
thing,
trees in it.
is that planning is giving permits out to build up around, Omak Lake now. Floyd Walton has a housing development there. Nobody's doing anything about
Around the
it.
lake,
Not around the lake, but, if it were the game reserve is
Where
where we
his
live.
property is.
on his property.
Yeah. And when you were on the council before, they said no more housing development up there. Well, he put more wells in there and he's putting more homes in there.
There's ain't enough water. You're gonna
But
run
he's
out of
getting,
water.
but he's getting approval through planning.
I don't.
I know he is, because I'm upset about it.
Oh, you should be, and we should be.
Yeah.
We'll look into it because there we go again. There's not that much water up there.
I know
It's-
there isn't.
We know the complete total availability of water. That's like a metal tub under
Well,
there
yeah,
that
they
can
said
only
all
hold
that.
so much.
Well, Mac Lake's going down, they said.
Gary Passmore said where the last well is, that you can drill from here to hell and back and you won't find any water. It's just nothing but volcanic ash under there and rock.
And the judge ruled that he could use so much water, but it had to be with our permit. So much water, and if he's selling, saying you get all of this water with it, there's a problem.
I just wanted to mention, you talk about planning, because it's just more than just planning. There's a land use review board, the LURB, that they meet weekly, and they talk about these permits. And it's open to people to come in and make comments. And I can't remember what time it is, but I think you can find out, just call planning, find out when the next LURB is. And when they,
Right.
to help with these ideas, because I think what's happening, like it happens many places, is we have this fragmented knowledge of what's going on, like you said, up in Omak. I didn't know that, not that I need to know everything or anyone, but it would be helpful in order to exercise our tribal rights, as tribal people. Is this the good for the whole, And in order to do that, again, going back to giving that common knowledge out, some of that should be common knowledge, and make sure we
So does
protect
this
our rights.
committee report to the council?
They haven't,
I
not
think-
since I've been on, have you?
Mm-mm.
You've been on a week and a half longer than me, haven't you?
No,
Remember?
no.
I don't
Well,
think it
you-
reports, but it has,
It should be.
it should be information that's being transmitted, and again, how much does the council know, and how much should they know? I mean, do they know that I put decals on vehicles?
Well, I think on real estate,
Depends on what
which
they are.
includes water,
Yeah,
you should
well,
know.
I think we learned a lesson on those ponds that LURB approved down by the Mon Cemetery. Remember my very first district meeting when that was raised? Yeah, of course, him and I were both new and didn't know that was going on, and now we got some more that is an old new too, but he wasn't here when that was approved. So we gotta look at the approval process, because really the tribal council didn't have the authority to cancel that or rescind it. The LURB had all of the authority, but we didn't know. Council said they didn't know that that was going on, it was just permitted. And so when we met, when we met over at the Nispelum, the little Nispelum longhouse there, and coming this way, with LURB, they agreed to rescind that permit. But they had already issued it. And it wasn't the non-Indians' fault. That guy did everything that he was asked to do. It was us. It was our program. It was our planning process. I mean, common sense, just common sense.
That brings up another issue too with these fires. You know, we live up there, Belmont Lake, so we see the craft coming in there, dipping in the lake to put the fires out. Now, I know it's an emergency and I'm not against it, but it would be nice if someone was kind of tracking that. You know, to know that our lakes are being used.
Oh, they know.
They track it on a sortie is what they call those. By the sortie, where they obtain their materials or their resource, they have to write that down, and they'll either do it by land location or permits or something like that. They have a general authorization from us. They being the fire management,
Oh,
fire
Yeah,
management,
they know.
and it's just like
It's all approved, whether they dip out of the river or they dip out of the
Yeah.
lake, or
you see
whether
the
they
C-130s
scoopers and
planes
use a
that scoop
bucket.
out the water. They
You
know
know.
where they get it. And they
Yeah,
make
You was
something.
probably filling that little scooper up by hand in your day, huh?
No. No.
Okay, let me just go, because we're gonna have to leave here next. And the other thing that I was involved with, and that's taken some time, is I haven't been able to sit with a little committee to develop our clinic, but I've been working on it as a council member. I've gone to Portland a couple times on it. We're gonna be going again the end of this month to meet on the joint venture. The federal government has authorized tribes, or authorized the federal government to do joint venture developments with Indian tribes, developing medical facilities. It's probably gonna be our only chance for a long time to get any money for a clinic in Omak. What puts the tribe in a tough spot is there's a short turnaround, and there's three things, I'm thinking three things, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. One of them is location. We have to have a location identified. We have to have the plan. We have to be able to have a general plan of, and then we have to have the money.
and it also includes.
We have to say that we have the money to build this building in 30 days. If we're approved for the next step, we gotta be able to say, yeah, we got that amount of money to build the building. Not the equipment, not,
Yeah, we found out lately, okay,
Okay.
this is what we need. We need a user population count.
yeah, we got that.
We got that, but that's for the
Okay.
whole top, but not just, so the
But
question
the-
Francis
the-
had was just for OMAD. Okay, so we need the financing, we need the prints, and we need also the fund allocation for the medical equipment. Because this joint venture is based on points. So if we go in there and we say we've got the land, we've got the financing, and we've got the money allocation for equipment, we'll get 100 points.
100 points, but what do you get? I mean, they're still only, I find that they're still only gonna fund 80% of that. So,
It's 85% of the staffing.
yeah, of the
Yeah,
staff.
of the staffing.
And so, basically, what it is, we're building the building. They want us to buy the equipment,
They're pretty cement hard.
But look what, now
85%
look
of
what have we done? Look what we've already done. We built the clinic in
I know
Inchland,
it.
and in Keller, and in Espila, but you know what? We didn't have anything.
And we have no staff, no money to staff them either.
But with this joint venture, we could get staffing, and that's the only good part of it.
To me. I mean, I want the clinic. I'm still gonna fight for the clinic. I'm still going down there to meet with them on, not me. We are going to go down there to meet with them on two things. Contract support costs and the joint venture. So it's two different things, but they kind of come together. The end of this month, what just, you can bleep this out, but what pisses me off, and I work for them, and that's what I retired from, right, is running a clinic. And what pisses me off is that they have signs all over about providing the highest quality of health care and doing all of this stuff. But here, tribe, you build the building, right? And if you build a building without going through these steps, we won't staff it. That just, I feel like that build, or black, what? Oh. But that's what we're facing. And that's the only way that I think, we think, that we can get this clinic. So, I'm being really nice to our management and budget chair, really nice. Because it makes it difficult when you're building, when the tribe is involved in building a new casino that will leave space for a bingo. And that's important.
Yes, it is.
And then we're building a
Very important.
new office building, and then this. It's really difficult, but if we don't go through these steps now, we're not gonna get another chance at money, even for the building. So we gotta be really, we've hired Gary Lee.
Yeah.
He's already hired, he's the one that develops the plans. He did it for Benoit Clinic on the Coeur d'Alene, and he did it for Inchland. And so he's doing our first plan now that we're gonna be presenting it.
I think
Hey,
that,
now,
I think one of the most important things too that we need to make tribal members aware that they should really begin to support Indian Health. When you come to Indian Health and they can bill for you and they can count you in our user pop, it means money to support our Indian Health Service clinics. If we get you on, well, those that are on Medicare or Medicaid, if you go elsewhere to get your medical care, then that's money that isn't supporting us. Because we can bill for Medicare and Medicaid, but we can't bill for tribal insurance. And hopefully that'll change. Hopefully that will change.
What do you
Do you have a
mean?
third-party billing?
You that are tribal employees here, did you know that when you go over here and use our clinic, that we can't bill your insurance?
We authorized that.
But
That was authorized.
IHS clinics
When?
don't. You have to have a third-party billing. They do at Inchlam and Keller because they've set that up.
Because there's
But-
638 clinics.
Yes, but not in Espelum or
No.
Omak because they are IHS clinics.
Clinics.
I
So
thought
that,
that was.
No, it's not
no,
universal.
it has, the only thing that I went back
Can't
to
do them all,
tribal
so
council
get them out
for
of there.
a year ago was we now can bill, our Indian Health can bill for prescriptions for pharmacy costs, which has really, really helped.
Okay, we're gonna have to go here right shortly.
well, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
I'm never. Council change.
You said that was planning, your planning, is that, I wanna know, the Coeur d'Alene's, I went to that deal over there with the Coeur d'Alene's. And they planned so much one year, and then they go on and plan till they got, Are we gonna do that, or are you planning for the whole thing? At one time?
For the facility, the medical facility.
Is that what the
at
government
whole
says,
time.
you have to plan for the whole thing or part of it? Because they planned, that guy even said he planned, they
Same.
just planned to do so
Same
much,
guy.
but it's all descended. I mean,
You can build on to it later, but the
well, yeah,
actual
but you gotta
medical
plan for
facility.
that.
Yeah.
You
Let's
gotta
see,
plan when you start
Merville,
adding on a bill.
This isn't a 638 clinic like Benoit.
You mean
Yeah.
like over there?
Yeah,
Benoit
this
is
is a joint
quite a-
venture by IHS. So no, we can't do that, but later, like Mel said, later on it could be done.
Just,
Okay,
One-
well, go ahead and go.
One more and then,
will you please, the four of you, come back next month and tell us what are your priorities for this year, year ending 2014? What is your priorities in 2015?
our
Maybe-
priorities as what?
For us as a tribe, what are your priorities? What is your priority as our OMAC council members? What are your priorities? What can we do as tribal members to support your goals and your visions? Because I haven't heard of any goals and visions coming out of our district. I mean, I've been attending these for quite a while. We are working towards things, but there's still more to be done. We talked about emergency management services. So what are we, you know, let's get that as a priority. Let's set some deadlines. Let's do some action planning. One of the other things we talked about is the governmental reforms and the constitutional reforms, and we talked about that in 2008. And we're not any closer. So again, not bashing anyone, but can we get to some priorities? What is your priority? What is your, what is Edwin's and Mike's?
Short
You know,
term,
how can
long
we-
term.
Short term, long term, because we don't have that as a tribe. We're fighting the fight every day for sure, but we're not fighting the battle and the war. We're not fighting that.
So I put that question back to you, Larry. What are your guys' priorities? What would
Do you have an
guys
hour?
like? What would you guys like?
I'll give you an hour.
We can,
No, bring
we
it to
can,
the next
we can
meeting.
become a committee
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Can it
priorities
be
might
like a
completely
prevention and
different from what you
education
guys
Yeah.
want.
I
type
can-
of
So
committee?
we need to know
Because-
what our district wants.
I can tell you what I'm interested in and the things that I have experience in. That don't mean that that's the same as Edwin's or Richard's or Mike's. And we can't tell you what the whole council's priorities are because we're still new council. We're trying to figure that out now. We had a big discussion today of how are we gonna manage ourselves? New council, how are we gonna, that part is being worked on, but if you're asking me what my priority is for the year, I can't give you a definite time limit for those kinds of things. I mean, some of these are legislative things, some of these are legal things, but I can tell you where I'm gonna spend time
Some
doing it.
extra ones.
If you like, we could do that like for the next meeting. We could
Yeah.
we could set up or like facilitate what the people want,
Oh,
and
these
we'll
things?
bounce
Yeah.
off of what's possible,
Give us a
not no
half a
fixed
dozen.
time.
Well, I think there's four of you, and as our representatives, there should be a common priority. What is that? Let's work on
Did you get one
that.
and Patsy and-
We have 14 council members, and
Okay.
apparently there are 14 different priorities, and none of them get done.
No, don't say none of them get done.
Minimum amount. So,
I think a lot gets done, you just don't know it.
Trying to get rid of you.
Okay.
you guys, thank you.
Can I just make a quick announcement? Elder stipends will be mailed August 4th for 301. And then a per capita payment, August 18th for 224.
Is there something that you guys would like on the agenda next time?
Housing? You asked.
Good idea.
Joint venture.